bim bidi bum bidi 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 bim bum bim bidi bum bim bidi bum. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom.
Good evening, everybody, and good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom to 27 people that are in the building and the 47 people that are watching us online. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, Barry Nicholsberg was unable to be with us tonight, so we're going to make an attempt to do without his expertise and just carry on. So for the moment, along with the welcome, I'll ask Judy Kern, our president, to make her way up to the bima without the cord that's hanging from your back pocket and the microphone. Come up to the bima and light the Shabbat candles for us. Right.
Please join me reading the English at the top of page 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And as is our tradition, when Barry is here, to welcome the Sabbath bride with the Chadodi, if you would join us. On page 138 for L'Chadodi. La 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 L'Chadodi, la 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 L'Rakela, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat Kabbalat Shabbat Zakor V'Yoremcha Tishmi'anu El HaMiuchad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad V'Shemu Tiferet V'Yitzirah La 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 L'Chadodi, la 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 L'Rakela, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat Kabbalat.
Hitoreri, Kivarorek, Kumi Uri, 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 Kuvod Adonai, Alayik la 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 kadoni, la 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 relaxala, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat Kabbalat, Oi Shalom, Terema. Simcha Tohola Tochemunei Hamstegula Moikala Moikola La 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 rekatala, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala.
That's not good.
That is not good.
Battery dying, Frank? You may be playing alone. I think my battery is dying. No. No time to take it out. Forgive the delay. We have a little bit of a technical glitch. We were wondering over what it's from, but this is the place marker in the service where the Chatzi Kaddish is recited. Please don't hesitate to join me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah B'alma divrach Yirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon B'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael Bagala u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru amin Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach V'alam u'lam v'yamaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kedusha B'richu Leila Milkol V'chata V'shirata Tushvechata V'nechemata Ta'amira Alma V'yimeru Amen. Judy, forgive me. Jackie, I'm going to need 2 minutes. Just a delay. I need 2 minutes.
I think we turn around this time. Right?
Forgive me, everybody. You wouldn't believe all these electrical wires, and electrical guitars, and electrical amplifiers still use batteries. Every once in a while, one of them dies on the spot. So with the Chatzi Kaddish gone, I will ask you to rise and join the entire congregation, all of us, both online and here, to sing the prayer, the Baruch, the call to worship. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch et Adonai, And before we, you can, if you would, remain standing for a moment. Before we do the Shema, we'll add an English reading from page 148. The bottom of page 148, Blessed are you. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. And now, if you stand, if you are not already, in body or spirit, and join us for the watchword of Judaism, the Shema. Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. And another one of the prayers that Barry sings so beautifully as a cantor. He does so well that we will try to go ahead with. If you'll join us, please, as you will. I believe it's page 154, the V'ahavta. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. And if you will, on that same page 154, let's read through the English translation of the Via Hafta so we all know what we just said. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul,
and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day, and press them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on doorposts of your house and your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohim. Amen.
And from the depth of one of the critical prayers in Judaism, to a prayer put to song, a joyous song as the Israelites crossed the Sea of Reeds and celebrated the beginning of their freedom. Micha Mocha, page 158, if you join us. Okay, for one for me, Frank? One for me? One, I'm going one. La 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi kamocha b'nei Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, Nora tehilot posei fele, Nora tehilot posei fele. Malachuteka aruvanecha, okeyam Moshe Miriam, Ze'aliyah Miriam Ruth, Eliyah Adonai Imom Leolam Baed, Adonai Imom Leolam Baed. Mikam Mocha B'Elin Adonai, Mikam Mocha Ne'ogam Kodesh, Nora Tehilot Posei Pele, Nora Tehilot Posei Pele. And as we try to cover the spectrum from the joyous to the quiet, a prayer certainly fits the description, which is why we use Hashkivenu so often. We didn't do it last week, so we will try it this week. Again, if you would join us, I'll get you a page number.
160.
160. Hashkivenu, page 160, if you would join us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu LaShalom, LaShalom, B'Hamidenu Melekenu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
From the prayer to something a bit up-tempo, we go back and forth with this from week to week between Vishamru and Yismachu. And since we did Yismachu last, the tefillah, are we missing something?
No, Vishramru, then Tefillah.
No, not yet. So because we missed Yismachu, we didn't Yismachu last Shabbat, we'll try the up-tempo Vishamru this time. Please join us, and that would be on page 162. And again, I'm showing no capo for me on this, Frank. 0. There's a change for me from Barry.
Vishamru Israel et HaShabbat, Lason et HaShabbat, Betorati Olam. Vishamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, Lason et HaShabbat, Betorati Olam. B'nei Israel, Ohi L'olam. Vishamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, Lason et HaShabbat, Betorati Olam. Ki sheshet yamim Adonai, Adonai, et hashamayim ye'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, Lason et HaShabbat, לדורתי ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש,
שבת ונפש. תשמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתי ברית עולם.
And I wanted the tefillah, the standing prayer, if you would, join us and stand. And we are going to start this particular time around with the traditional prayer. We're not going to do that part of it, Frank. We're going to shorten it to the traditional prayer. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi agitehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo v'Yahava. Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Yezrat Sarah. To page 168. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei atah Rab Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim, Somei noflim v'rofei kolim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayim emnato, Lishenei afar, Mikamocha bal gerot, Umidom elokah, Melech memit mukayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'emanatah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Page 170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha, Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Thank you. And I might add to those of you in the sanctuary and to those listening who have been watching for a while who note that I never bow when I should. We tried it. I have to keep my eyes on Judy and the staff in the back and one eye over here on the rest of the guys and girls in the band. And if I bend over and bow, I either knock a mic over or knock a stand over or slam one of them in the side of the head with the guitar. So we decided the Almighty is going to have to give me a break on bowing. As we always do at this part of the service, We take a moment for a silent meditation and silent prayer. If you would, just before that, turn to page 173. Join me at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Nikadesh HaShabbat. A moment of silence.
Bonnie. You want to do the Mishaberak?
Yeah, onto the Mishaberak. The Mishaberak is up behind Ani. the prayer for healing. And we would ask the ladies at the desk if you have a list of names. Jeannie, please.
Linda Ehrenstaff, Marcy Schulman, Joe Wagner, Sherry Silver, Barbara Frank, Sarah Gambrell, Peter Yarrow, Sandy Steinberger, Morris and Felice Friedman, Katie Walmer, Rabbi Bob Kersner, Irv Zisselman, Katie Fink, Lady Bird Marlowe, Jerry Jacobson, Victoria Mayer, Bobby Crone, Pat Winters, Susan Ellers, Ron Robinson, Ann Olin, Susie Horowitz, Cameron Turner, Rosa Dubray, J.J. Roch, Sophia Dickens, Maya Dickens, Irene Namer, Sam Namer, Don Sinclair, Lainey Roan, all those affected by COVID-19, Emily Holler, Rebecca Helgenoff, Oscar Hopkins, Megretta McCarthy, Patty Beeman, Michael Stein, Tanya Hurst, Sandy Tijan, Lisa Miller, Michael Laurie, Karen Fulbright, Paige Johnson, Arlen Conley, David Kober, Janelle and Bill Moore, Jim Hellman, Pat Kale, Mike Roth, Dennis Sadler, Lisa Ann Gaston, Yaakov Shechman, Alex Shechman, Felisa Grish Berman, Bryson Dickens, Tayana Shakora, Larissa Gavrilyuk, Julia Shechaman, Rebecca Shelby and Cameron Bra, Don Copsby,
Wendy, a name for the list? Any? Jackie? No, you're up. Barbara, any extra name for the Mishabera? Frank?
Nick and Connie Spinelli, Phil and Jasmine Milligan, Nicole Bravante, Catherine Simon, Jim Wade, and Rabbi Fred Natchez.
Heather? For myself, and for all of us, first off, Patrick Collins, who's the officer, is with us tonight for his safety, whether he's here with us or on the road, on patrol at night in the dark, or even in the daytime. His safety and that of his fellows is always in our prayers. For my sister-in-law, Susie, my best friend, Andy Wheeler, and an old buddy from Vietnam, stricken with Parkinson's disease, Eddie Speck. If you would, with all those and others in mind, you'd join us for the singing of the Mishaberach on page 371. You okay, Pope Frank?
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And as is Barry's want and the want of the service itself, following the Mishaberach, the Devar Torah, for the Parsha, the Yetzeh, the latter takes the winner for all the Devars you can find and read about, every possible version of how Jacob's ladder affected him and how it affects us. I did find in my own study a slightly different Devar, which I thought I would present. I found it rather striking and perhaps a little easier to understand because it isn't really in competition with a great many of the others that all seek to explain the same event. And I will give complete and full credit to the author. This is Rabbi Menachem Creditor who wrote this. Leah's name is part and parcel to the Parsha. And he calls this Leah's hidden blessing. And as you can see, it is quite short, so if you forgive me for reading it, I didn't want to paraphrase it because it's already quite short. The rabbi says, when do you close your eyes while you're awake? Birthday wishes, bubbling laughter, sometimes crying, moments of intensity in which we find ourselves tapping into invisible emotions. Closed eyes can enable us to see past the apparent and envision what could be. My father once explained that the moon is considered new according to Jewish tradition when it is hidden from our eyes, hence its Hebrew name, Molad, which literally means birth. These notions of hiddenness and newness, of birth and imagination, are directly related to Parshat V'yetzeh. Our matriarch Leah is introduced in this portion as having weak eyes, while her younger sister, Rachel, is described as beautiful. The Hebrew word for weak, rakot, can also be translated as soft. Why are Leah's weak eyes specifically mentioned in the Torah? In the Midrash, Rabbi Yochanan explained, what does rakot mean? That her eyes had grown weak through weeping. For people used to say, this was the arrangement. The elder daughter is for the elder son, and the younger daughter is for the younger son. Therefore, Leah was in line to marry Esau. And Leah used to weep and pray, may it be your will that I do not fall to the lot of that wicked man. The softness of Leah's eyes, reminiscent of Isaac, whose eyes also grew dim with time, are due to her trying to create an alternative timeline to see beyond the fate that she wished so desperately to avoid. So Leah closes her eyes and cries. And what does she see with her eyes closed? A different life than the one that people have been telling her is coming at her. Today we are constantly bombarded by announcements of forthcoming doom or imminent utopia. Neither of them is quite right. The future is not that clear, and as Rabbi Yochanan himself taught elsewhere, since the temple was destroyed, prophecy has been taken from prophets and given to fools and children. Leah's tears teach us to face those moments of prophecy with closed eyes and an open, honest heart. What might happen if we close our eyes, perhaps letting some tears out, and imagine the world we wish for? The Talmud tells us when one goes to measure the corn in their granary, and that is before the measurement, They should pray, may it be your will, O Lord our God, to send a blessing upon the work of our hands. But if one measured and then prayed, it is a vain prayer, because the blessing is not found in that which has already been weighed, measured, or counted, but only in that which is hidden from the eye. For those of you following in the Talmud, that's from Bava Metzia 42. Blessing can be found in that which is hidden from the eye. The Midrash on Leah's eyes ends with a powerful statement by Rav Huna. So powerful was Leah's prayer that it annulled her predetermined destiny. May we envision tomorrow with renewed hope. May we recognize the truth of Leah's beautiful softness, lyrically articulated by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. One sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eye. Shabbat Shalom. And as the service continues, as Heather has opened the parachet to bring the Torah scrolls into view, if you would rise before the Torah and join us for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. Tate Gedula Yotzer Bereshit Shelo Asanu Kigoye Haratzon Velo Samanu Kamishvachol Adama Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem Vegor Aleinu Kechol V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu teshamayim v'yoshes haaretz Moshe Yaakov Hashemayim Imao Ushkina Tuzo Ushkina Tuzo Ekohe Golim Hu Eloheinu Echad En Elokeinu Echasulato Kakatu V'Torato Yagayom Yagayom Hashivota Elohecha Adonai Hu Elohim Hashamayim Imao Ya'aretz Ya'aretz And if you would remain standing and join me in this short English paragraph that's on page 588. For you spread out the heavens and established the earth. Your majestic abode is in the heavens above, and your mighty presence is in the loftiest heights. That's page 588. You are our God, and there is none else. In truth, you are our sovereign without compare, as is written in your Torah. Know this day and take it to heart, that Adonai is surely God in heavens above, and on the earth below there is none else. Bayom hahu Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you for joining us again, and now into the memorial service, just ahead of the Kaddish Yatom on page 599. If you would join me, that short paragraph. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. First, let me ask if are there any names from online or in the sanctuary for Shiva, anyone? Or Shloshim, the first 30 days of a death? Robert Diskin? The art sites for this year: Richard Eggers, Joel Kellner, Daniel Jacob Horowitz, Amelia Gress, Marcia Manishin, Irma Schiller, Phyllis Blooming, Daniel Joseph Middleton, Larry Kramer, David Yarbrough, Sylvia Cart, Rosie Davis, Laura Rusiniak Rosen, Louis Jutzi, Michael Bernard, Annette Carter, Robert Diskin, Erwin Finkelman. And to that, we will add from the congregational family, Rita Darnowski, Mark Diskin, Danny Massou, Lonnie Bloodworth, Sally Pekoff, Estelle Roman, and Calvin Weiss. So if you would join me, if you can, stand, please, spiritually if you cannot. So we join as a single family, a single congregation, to say on page 598, to read the Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechom u'v'yomechom u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach le'olam u'lamei amayim. Yishtabach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitromam, Yitnaseh. Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalal, Shemei D'Kudusha, Berichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'ama v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mrumav, hu yasei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. Thank you. Our closing song, something a bit more joyous that we seem to pick on and enjoy speeding it up as we sing it. We've been doing it quite a bit for these Shabbat services. We hope you do enjoy it. But if you do, if you will, please join us for O Say Shalom on
647. 647.
647.
O say shalom, Biruma, Uya say shalom, Aleinu, Yaakov, Israel, V'yimeru, Amen. O say shalom, Biruma, Uya say shalom, Aleinu, Yaakov, Israel, V'yimeru, Amen. O say shalom, Biruma, Uya say shalom, Aleinu, Yaakov, Israel, V'yimeru, Amen. O say shalom, Biruma, Uya say shalom, Aleinu, Yaakov, Israel, V'yimeru, Amen. O say shalom, Biruma, Uya say shalom, Aleinu, Yaakov, Israel, V'yimeru, Amen. O say shalom, Biruma, Uya say shalom, Aleinu, Yaakov, Israel, V'yimeru, Amen.
Any announcements, ladies? Judy, Jeannie, of course, that's what the hand signal means, Jeannie. Okay, I got it, I figured it out.
Sisterhood Book Club will meet on Sunday. Information is sent by email, and it's on the calendar. First night of Hanukkah is on Sunday, November 28th, 2021. Joint Sisterhood Congregation Program is on December 14th. It is on situational awareness and countering active threat training by Secure Community Network. We want to thank Deputy Collins for keeping us safe tonight. Thank you very much. And
That's it.
that's it.
I will add a note to that class on situational awareness. It sounds like it's a security thing for security people, but it's really for all of us. It's being given by our retired FBI agent, leader of the Secure Community Network, which is comes to us from the Federation. These guys are incredibly well educated, a lifetime of experience in being personally aware of the world around you and what's happening around you, not necessarily in this synagogue, but just when you're out on the street by yourself or with friends. It really is a superb program. Judy, I think, has seen.
Yeah, I just want to thank Jeannie. She's been sitting in training. She did a wonderful job last week in my absence, but that's why you didn't hear me behind the microphone, because I'm training other people to help us back here.
And thank you, Jeannie, Denise, as always, Judy, as always. I haven't ever seen you run around back there like that before. thank everyone also who signed on to listen to us tonight and watched some of the acrobatics with the electronic gear. We apologize for the 2-minute delay. And thank you very much for the crowd inside the sanctuary. I guess I'll take that opportunity to remind everybody there's plenty of space in here. Most of us are now triple inoculated. I know you get used to being with your feet up in the living room watching the service, but it would be good to have you back, especially as the renovation continues to go on. Please don't hesitate to come back and join us. So we will close as we always do with the priestly blessing. If you would, not that I'm qualified to give it, but if you would please rise, that would be the tradition. And we will sing it and say it at the same time. Yivarech lecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and guard you. Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'yishmerecha. May the Lord make his face to shed light upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord lift up his face unto you and give you peace. V'yasem lecha shalom. Todah Rabbah, thank you very much. Laila Tov, good night. Shabbat Shalom. Be safe going home.